The Funkin Physics mod just dropped not too long ago, and it was a mod that was created by literally a bunch of mod creators, is the name of the team. And even though it's just a demo, I want to go over some of the major characters and also the non-canon secret songs. Let's go ahead and jump into it. The first character that I want to talk about is going to be Corruptus. Now, what I find interesting about this name is that it wasn't his original name. The original name for Corruptus was actually Terry, but the development team changed it to Corruptus because they wanted it to sound a bit more menacing. Another thing I want to note here is that apparently Corruptus has a brother named Trollman, and apparently Trollman is supposed to be the only person that can stop Corruptus. Now, I want to point this out because a lot of people think that Trollman and Corruptus are actually the same people, but they're not. They are completely separate entities. Now, something that I find very interesting about Corruptus is that he has many different forms in this mod so far. In trolling, he actually has a regular stick figure body, but he has this mean face that actually isn't too creepy. The song Mistaken is pretty much the same, it's just that now his face looks very disappointed at you. He's frowning and it's kind of this mix of a shade of black and white. But it's not until we get to the song The Incident where he really starts looking demonic and just devilish. And then of course in the song Tomfoolery is when he gains a body more similar to the malicious bunny type of trollologist, if you remember in the Blue Balls Incident mod. And for whatever reason, he's also holding a magnet. There's also a song in this mod called Delirium that in my opinion is impossible to beat unless you have a bot. Make sure to link a YouTuber if you know that they beat it fairly, and I will go check it out because it's impossible. Now, most of you probably already know this, but Tomfoolery is the actual song that is in the story mode of this mod, and then the rest of these you're going to be able to access in the free play. And the story as of right now isn't too complex. Boyfriend and girlfriend are basically just hanging out, they get a knock on the door, and then of course Corruptus kicks it in and the rap battle commences. Now, two fun facts here is that if you look in the background of Tomfoolery, you'll actually see that on the desk is sitting a little tricky doll. And secondly, in the song Incident, you'll actually see the calendar in the background reads December 10th, 2022. And this is the date of the Long World incident. Now, I feel like it only makes sense to talk about the Long World Trollage next. This is basically a trollage that became the only survivor on Earth after some crazy event made all the people vanish. This event basically happened after he killed his school principal, who happened to leave him at school alone. As a side effect of this, the Long World Trollage basically grew to a massive size and he gained extra limbs. Now, something that I find interesting here is that when he finds Boyfriend alone in that apartment, he's not actually trying to hurt Boyfriend, but he's actually trying to make friends with him because he's been alone for so long. The next character that I want to talk about in this mod is going to be Smile, and he was actually created by a person named TL Sands. And what I find interesting about this character is that if you go to TL's channel, you'll see that he never actually intended for this character to be a mod or in a mod, but he ended up changing his mind when Blue reached out to him, and he ended up giving him permission to put him in this mod. The next troller we'll talk about is going to be the Happy Trollage, and this one is actually inspired from the actual incident called the Happiness Incident. If you don't know this video, I'll make sure to link it down in the description, but it's basically this ridiculous loop where a person gets a strange phone call and they go out to try to find happiness, and what they end up doing is going to this floating house which looks just like their house, and they find a version of themselves sitting in a chair with a bloody mouth. They stab that version of themselves in the head, and then they take the chair and basically find happiness. And then of course after that they call themselves and they do it all over again, which is why we see this just litter of bodies on the floor in this floating house. Boyfriend plays a part in this because it seems like he is the caller's next victim, or at least the troll is trying to get him to be his next victim. Next, let's talk about the troll called Jambone Trollface, and he is basically from an older version of the Trollface mod, and he was actually a reskin of Witty. It's kind of a dead giveaway when his song is called Trollistic because it's a play on the word ballistic, which was Witty's final song in his mod. If the song and song title wasn't enough to give it away, you definitely can't forget those mannerisms. That is Witty all the way. Next up, let's talk about Mr. Troll, aka Uncle T, who is in this mod fighting against Corruptus, it would seem. But apparently when this mod comes out in his final form, he's going to be singing with Corruptus in a secret final Trollination song. For those of you who don't remember, Uncle T was basically the uncle to girlfriend. He was one of the few people that you battle against that actually opens his arms to Boyfriend and accepts him. He and Daddy Dearest were best friends that met when Daddy Dearest was on tour in Russia, which makes sense because Mr. Trollolo is actually Russian. And just a fun fact in case you don't know, he's over 100 years old. If you want to know the full story of Uncle T, I'll make sure to put a card here. Make sure to click it and check it out after you watch this video. Now, the last two trolls that we're going to talk about play a very small role in this mod, and we're going to look at Trollface player model real quick. So Trollface player model is basically a Gmod play model of the Trollface character. Those of you who play DemoMod will recognize this background immediately. If you know what the map is called, make sure to put it down in the comments. Last but not least, we have Impostor Corruptus, and as of now, there's not a lot of information on this guy, but his name kind of gives it away. He is basically impersonating Corruptus and trying to steal his life, and that's all we have about him for now. If you want to know more about Trollge's characters, make sure to check out this video where I fully explain the Blue Balls Incident mod, or go over to my second channel and check out this gameplay of the Mario 85 horror game. Thank you for watching. This is Orseofkorse. Peace, peace.